Whatever your sign, whatever your pattern, the truth is the same. Your worth isn't something you earn, it's something you claim. This means you stop abandoning yourself for others. When someone asks you to betray your needs, your values, your boundaries, the answer is no. Not maybe, not let me think about it, not I'll try. Just no. Clear, firm, non negotiable. Welcome back to part two of step two of the Scorpio Blueprint. I practiced this for months before it felt natural. The first few times I said no without explanation, without apology, without over justifying, I felt almost physically ill. My body was so conditioned to people pleasing that it registered my boundary as a threat. But I kept saying it. No to the projects that drained me, that were not part of my brief. No to the relationships that diminished me. No to the expectations that had nothing to do with who I actually was. And slowly something shifted. My nervous system began to understand. Setting boundaries doesn't lead to abandonment. It leads to self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of everything. Your worth isn't contingent on being easy, agreeable, or convenient. The right people don't need you to be small. The right relationships don't require you to sacrifice yourself. The right life doesn't demand that you prove you deserve to take up space. But here's where it gets challenging. Claiming your worth will make some people uncomfortable. The people who benefited from the times when you doubted yourself will resist your transformation. They will call you selfish, difficult, and changed. They'll remind you of who you used to be, as if growth is a betrayal. I lost friends when I started honoring my worth. People I had known for years, people I had shown up for countless times, people I thought were my community. When I stopped being endlessly available, when I started prioritizing my own needs, when I established boundaries, they left. And it hurt. It hurt because I'd been conditioned to believe that if I just loved people enough, if I just gave enough, if I just sacrificed enough, they would stay. They would see my value. They'd finally give back what I'd been giving. But they didn't because they'd never been interested in reciprocity. They'd been interested in what I could do for them. And when I stopped doing it, when I stopped being useful in the specific ways they wanted, I became disposable. That's when I learned the most important lesson of my transformation. People who leave when you claim your worth were never your people. They were users with good marketing. They were takers who had learned to disguise their extraction as friendship. Let them go. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. It's important that you don't give away your inner peace to external circumstances. The same applies to your worth. The moment you make your value dependent on someone else's opinion, you've handed them your power. Take it back. Practice this daily affirmation not as wishful thinking, but as a declaration of fact. My worth is inherent and unchangeable. I am valuable because I exist, not because of what I do or who I please. Say it when you wake up. Say it when doubt creeps in. Say it when someone treats you as if you're disposable. Say it until it becomes the foundation from which you operate. I have this written on my bathroom mirror. I see it every morning. And some days I believe it completely. Some days it feels true in my bones. Some days I say it through gritted teeth, barely believing it at all. But I say it anyway. Because transformation isn't about feeling certain all the time. It's about choosing yourself even when you don't feel like it. It's about acting as if you're valuable until you finally believe you are. And then, this is crucial, start making choices that reflect this understanding. You can believe you're worthy all day long, but if your actions say otherwise, your subconscious won't believe you. Choose yourself in small ways first. Make the meal you actually want. Speak up when something bothers you instead of swallowing it. Cancel plans when you need rest without over explaining. Set a boundary and hold it even when it's uncomfortable. These small acts of self respect are how you rebuild trust with yourself. You've probably broken promises to yourself 1,000 times, putting others first, ignoring your intuition, staying in situations that hurt you. Your relationship with yourself is damaged and it needs repair. Every time you honor your worth through action, you're making a deposit into your self trust account. Every time you choose yourself, you're proving to your own psyche that you're serious about this transformation. I started small. I stopped responding to texts immediately if I was in the middle of something. I took lunch breaks instead of working through them. I went to bed when I was tired instead of staying up for other people. I said, that doesn't work for me, instead of let me see what I can do. Tiny choices, but they add up. Each one was evidence that I mattered, that my needs were valid, that my time and energy were valuable. This isn't selfishness. This is how you stop bleeding energy into people and situations that can never fill you up. This is how you create space for relationships and experiences that actually nourish you. Because here's what I discovered: when you start honoring your own worth, you become a magnet for people who also honor it. The right people don't need you to perform, move, prove, or perfect yourself. They see your value inherently. They respect your boundaries naturally. They give as much as they take. Those people exist, but you won't find them while you're surrounded by people who require your diminishment. Your worth is non negotiable. Say it again. Your worth is non negotiable. Not because you've earned it through suffering or achievement, not because you've proven it through service or sacrifice, not because someone else finally validated it, because it's yours. It always has been. You just forgot for a while. And now you're remembering. And that remembering, that reclamation of your inherent value, is the most radical act of transformation you will ever undertake. This is the bedrock of your new life. This is the foundation everything else builds from. This is where your power lives. Your worth is non negotiable. Everything else flows from here.